You've got really good riz. She's been giving me the eyes all night. Are you chatting me up?
Here are some things to avoid if you want to make a positive impression on a Brit girl. Rushing into things. A lot of British women like to take things slowly. It can take British people a while to warm up, for want of a better word, and kind of feel like we can start to express how we feel about certain people, such as yourself. It might take her a few dates to be able to feel comfortable actually, you know, saying, oh yeah, I kind of like you.
Yeah, we like to evaluate and take our time, I think.
Yeah, it can be quite a vulnerable feeling, I think, for a lot of British people to wear their hearts on their sleeves, but just don't expect her. British women and British men kind of have this stereotype because, you know, young people go to other European countries on these kind of like lads' holidays or girls' holidays. I have heard the stereotype that British women are easy. I don't think that's always true, and I don't think that's correct to assume.
No.
If you are expecting that, she might get a bit offended. She might not. She might be up for it. I don't know.
Yeah. It really depends, and I don't think you can assume that all British women are like that.
Yeah,
because obviously they're not.
Yeah, no, that's right. It's going to depend on a lot of different things, but obviously if you're coming in strong with the expectation for intimacy on date one, that can be very off-putting in some cases.
Yes.
I don't want to say all British, but some women might want to.
Yeah,
you know, and
that's
fine
very
too.
true. Just be a bit careful, test the waters carefully.
Yeah, exactly. I know Americans in particular love to do this, but don't mimic the accents.
Oh, we hate it. It's all right first, you know, but don't keep on.
If you're having banter with someone and they're doing yours and you're doing them, fair enough, but don't walk up to someone and go, oh, your accent's so cute, and then just launch yourself into a Scottish accent or something dreadful.
From Loughborough to Waterloo for Carnival, in it, mate. But then the Loch Ness Monster had told me to get in the bin. So I said, that's nowhere to live, Margaret, having beans on tea for supper. If I give you the goo, have a gone, have a go, give a get with a give me the gee. If I give a got to the goo, give a get with a give me the guy for the gens. Bottle of water.
Manners are very important in British culture. Saying things like please and thank you in your sentences, sorry if you bump into someone on the street, holding doors open.
You don't have to just do this for women, you should do it for everybody.
Oh yeah,
yes,
no, if she sees you treating someone else like that, then that's going to have a negative impact as well. You know, it's not just how you treat her, she's going to be looking at how you're treating people in general. That's not to say that you can't have a bit of a laugh with her. Not everyone's like stuck up and just, you know.
It's not like all this sort of posh etiquette, but it's just a general sense of good manners. I think it's about being respectful to the woman and to how we perceive being respectful to others.
The next one is not allowing her to be an equal partner. British women like to be quite independent. It's absolutely fine to offer to pay if that's something you want to do, but don't insist on it because for her it might feel like this person's trying to do something transactional here.
Yeah, they might expect something in return that you're not sure you want to give.
Also, a lot of women don't see why they shouldn't pay for themselves, especially in the early stages of dating. It can make her feel like, okay, this guy kind of respects me, he sees me as an equal.
When you are dating, you know, listen to her ideas too about what she wants to do and where she wants to go too. You might feel that, oh, I should be deciding and choosing all these exciting things to do. Yes, we'd love that, but sometimes we want to make a decision and choose something ourselves too.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's lovely to plan a date for someone, but it doesn't have to always be your responsibility.
No.
Also, it's very likely she's going to ask you on a date.
She might ask you on the first date.
She might, yeah, exactly. British men, how can I say this nicely? They're not always the most perceptive of when they're being flirted with. I think we've done this in another video. I think it's only like 30% of British men can tell accurately when they're being flirted with. So sometimes, you know, British women have learned that if I ever want to be on a date with a guy,
I need to ask him.
I have to take some initiative here.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be surprised if she wants to ask you on the date, if she wants to plan it. It's just kind of how things are in the UK.
Yeah, it's got what we're used to.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't assume that all British women love a cup of tea. Most of us do. And yeah, we would like to be taken out for afternoon tea. But having said that, we're quite happy going down the pub too. And don't think we're so posh that we don't drink a pint of beer occasionally.
Oh no, it's quite fine to, you know,
Let me ask the expert on drinking. So Lucy, what are your thoughts?
I think either of those options would be quite a good first date. If you want to do something a little more formal, formal, then an afternoon tea is a lovely choice. But also, you know, if she's more of a casual kind of girl, then the pub is great too. I think these environments are good because they are familiar.
Yeah.
They feel safe, and it's easy to end the date if it's not, you know, working out by either party, you know, rather than something elaborate. Taking her to a brewery or something, I think that would tend to be good. I mean, ask her if she likes beer for sure, but don't be surprised if a lot of British women do drink a lot of beer. Following on from that, don't be surprised if your Brit girl can actually drink more than you. Binge drinking, that's kind of a negative way to put negative spin.
It's a thing,
but it is very much a part of British culture and something that a lot of British people do quite regularly. I notice in America, for example, we live in America now, people will have like a glass every now and again, you know, of wine or something like that, or a beer every now and again. British people maybe go for a few days without drinking, but then when we do, it's like, now we're drinking. So that's just something to you know, not be too surprised about.
Don't be shocked, because, you know, it's just something that a lot of people are used to.
Yeah, buy a meal as well or something and she'll be good.
One of the best dates I've ever had have been with American guys, and that might shock you because everyone's always saying American men are trash, like I bet British men are so much better, blah blah blah.
I would say dating in the UK is more exclusive.
I think so. I've noticed in America, for example, people will tend to announce when they've become committed.
Right.
You know, it's something that you would then be like, we're going to be exclusive now. In the UK, if you're dating someone, I think the assumption tends to be that you're only dating them.
Yeah, unless you say otherwise.
You say otherwise,
I think so. So don't just assume that you can go off and date other people and she'll be happy unless you've specifically said that.
Yeah, of course, like if you say, then it's absolutely fine. I don't think many British women be like, no, kind of thing, you can only date me. I think it's appreciated if you say, actually, just so you know, I am dating someone else at the same time.
But there are a lot of women who wouldn't like that, so they need to know from the outset. Yeah.
Our next one is coming across as humorless. Our humour is very much a part of how we interact and how we flirt. It can sometimes, I think, to people from other countries sound quite harsh and brutal.
I think people think that you mean what you say absolutely, but you're saying it in a witty, cutting manner, and you expect it back again.
It's okay to give it back. Yeah, exactly. I think the worst thing is when you're trying to flirt with someone and they don't seem to have a lot of sense of humour about themselves. They take themselves very seriously. Then it's kind of like, I don't know how to continue the kind of date or whatever it is now, because part of my kind of toolbox has been cut off for how I interact and flirt, you know. I know it can be hard if you feel like maybe someone's making inappropriate jokes or you feel slightly offended. Just know it's probably not intended to be offensive.
I like baked beans cold from the tin.
So do I. Genuinely, people think this is ridiculous. I love baked beans cold from the tin.
So do I.
Perfect. With a fork or spoon?
Spoon.
Spoon. I prefer a fork, so you can skewer the last ones.
Yes, but what about the tomatoey sauce?
Oh, you're right.
Don't be overly brash or loud. British culture is very much more contained, based on humility.
It's worth bearing in mind that a lot of British spaces are very small. You know, like a lot of our buildings are very old. If you're coming in and you're really noisy and you're like this big presence, other people are just going to probably leave.
You know, it's good to be confident. We want a confident man.
But confidence doesn't have to shout.
No, exactly. Let's talk about public displays of affection. It does obviously depend on the individual to a huge extent, but in general, Brits are less comfortable with public displays of emotion and
touching and kissing.
Than probably Americans, for example.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. You know, don't go in with all guns blazing and expect a good response, because you might get it if you're lucky, but you know, it might be like, ooh, is anyone looking, you know?
Oh yeah, especially like if you're in a group.
Because your mates will all be laughing, won't they?
Oh yeah, they'll be teasing you, they'll be teasing her, and it's
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Finally, let us say you don't have to be too rich or posh to date a British girl. What she's really going to value is your personality, your sense of humour, maybe your intelligence, things like that. Those are things I think are really going to inspire her to go to the next level of commitment with you.
Yeah, and you are unique. You know, you're from America or a different country, so you've got something unique to start with.
I always tell my friends, why would I date a man with the same background and upbringing as me when I can date someone with a completely different background and upbringing, and they're going to teach me more things about their culture, and it's going to be way more interesting.
Go on, give it a go.
Give it a go. We believe in you. Let us know how it goes.
Yeah, we'd love to know. And if you did follow any of our advice, let us know if it worked or not.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give us a like and hit subscribe to follow us on YouTube.